Hmm. Alright, on this video, I'll be showing to you what I consider the best endgame build for Keqing. It should remain the same until MiHoYo, I guess, decides to give us new artifacts, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. So here's the list of what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'll probably put some timestamps down there in the description below. Also, this is what the Genshin damage formula looks like. I got this from the Keqing's Theory Crafting Discord. You can pause it if you like, cause I wouldn't really go over this. Start prioritization for Electro Queen. The first three are the ones you should be looking for the main stat. For Goblet, always go for electro damage over physical damage. If you have none of both, just go with attack percent. Crit rate on her Circlet artifact because every ascension of Keqing grants her crit damage. Don't forget that her crit rate is also increased by 15% every time you cast her ultimate at Ascension 4. If you really have a terrible luck, Energy Recharge or Elemental Mastery is not a bad option. All the stats I've mentioned should be a good substats. There's one more thing I really want to talk about, and it's Keqing's Stellar Restoration, which is her E. And when used the second time, normal attacks damage gets converted to electro damage. This lasts around 6 seconds, and I would like to call that duration an E-Uptime. I'll be using that term a lot throughout this video, so I just really wanted to mention this. Now for the main part of the video, there's 3 endgame sets for Electro Keqing build. You have the Gladiator's Finale, Thundering Fury, and Thundersoother. I'll be explaining each of the sets on why they are considered good as well as their downside. Let's start with the Gladiator. Gladiator 2 set gives 18% attack buff while the 4 set boosts normal attack by 35% if the wielder uses Claymore, Polearm, or Sword. Now this 4 set is good for Keqing since she performs normal attacks rapidly. However, the bonus doesn't really take full advantage of Keqing's E-Uptime, thus making it the least ideal set for her on Electro build. You still get higher damage output for your E-Uptime normal attacks, but just not as great compared to Artifact set where it gives you Electro damage percent bonus. Also keep in mind that Keqing's best DPS for the least amount of time is the charge attack spam. Attack into charge, attack into charge. You do this repeatedly until you lose stamina. The reason why I'm mentioning this is the fact that the 4 set Gladiator bonus only applies to normal attack, not the charge attack. With the 4 set equipped, you are losing DPS especially if your playstyle is to use charge attack frequently, which isn't a rare playstyle to see in later Abyss because how important it is to clear mobs quickly. That should be the finale for the Gladiator. Let's move on to the next artifact. Thundering Fury 2 sets gives 15% electro damage bonus while the 4 set increases the damage cost by overload, electro charge, and superconduct by 40%. When triggered, the elemental skill cooldown of the user gets reduced by 1 second. Now this set is very good, but for Keqing? Not quite. Why though? Well, in order for you to benefit from the 4 set bonus, Keqing has to be the one triggering the reaction. You have to consider the fact that Keqing in most cases will apply the element first, not trigger them. This is the main reason why 4-set Thundering Fury isn't recommended for solo content, but it is marginally better for co-op since players can apply elements for you. If you have Shinkyu on your team that can spam Q reliably, it's somewhat viable to run 4-set Thundering Fury on Keqing, proccing that Electro charge, thus benefiting from the Thundering Fury bonus. Thundering Fury 2-set bonus is a no-brainer, very advantageous for Keqing, always prioritize stacking Electro damage for her in the late game. That is it for Thundering Fury. Now for the last artifact and what I consider the best one for its consistent damage, we have the Thundersoother. 2-set bonus increase electro resistance by 40%. Resistance isn't very great or any other defensive stat, offense is the best defense, right? Besides, we're god gamers, we can flawlessly iframes every enemy attacks, right? What's killing me? Oh no! Yo, oh my god. Jokes aside, 2-set bonus doesn't really provide anything to increase our damage. The 4-set bonus is where the Thundersoother shines. It increases damage by 35% against enemies affected by Electro. It differs from Thundering Fury 2 set, whereas that only affects your Electro damage. This set, however, is a 35% increase to your overall damage as long as the enemies are affected by Electro status. And for Keqing, it's very simple to achieve that. It's also very flexible. You can switch to a physical goblet and have your auto attack deal 35% bonus damage even against innately electro enemies. Physical switch is also useful against pyro and cryo slimes because we can debuff them with electro. Forset still has some drawbacks like your first hit or skill wouldn't have the 35% bonus and the 2 set bonus being useless for clear speed. Lastly, the set suffers in co-op gameplay. Players will constantly apply elements, meaning you can reliably debuff enemies with electro status there. That's pretty much it for Thundersoother. On a special note, there's 2 set of Thundering Fury plus 2 set of Gladiator's finale. This build performs equally well in both solo and co-op content. It's a really good consideration, especially the fact that the 2 Thunder artifacts I have talked about suffers from a specific content. To summarize, Gladiator's finale set bonus is restricted only to normal attack. Attack percent is also less valuable compared to electro damage in the late game. Thundering Fury is good for co-op, although you might need a specific team or playstyle to benefit from the bonus. Thundersoother is good for solo content, is flexible, and benefit from the bonus almost every time. 2 set Gladiator plus 2 set Thundering Fury, also flexible, good for both content, even Abyss. Special thanks to the Keqing mains Discord. Most of the information I've used in this video is taken from that server. I hope you all have a good luck rolling. I'm just here saving primo gems for Ayaka. Until next time. well, if that ever happens. Bye. Wait, where's your HP? Oh, no.